Shawn Pomrenke just pulled off one of the most audacious gold strikes in Arctic history. In the icy, unforgiving waters of the Bering Sea, he and his crew have confirmed a staggering $150 million haul, enough to shatter every previous record for Arctic gold mining. This wasn't luck. It was precision, planning, and pure audacity. Months of grueling dives, reinforced dredging, and navigating shifting icebergs led to massive veins of high-purity gold, previously hidden beneath layers of sediment and frozen currents. Competitors scrambled, storms raged, and equipment was pushed to its limits. But Pomrenke's team delivered. The haul is historic, the scale unprecedented, and the story of survival, strategy, and raw determination is already making headlines worldwide. Hit that like button and subscribe, because what Shawn just pulled off is redefining Arctic mining, and the Bering Sea will never be the same. Before we dive into Shawn Pomrenke's $150 million strike in the Bering Sea, smash that like button and subscribe, because you don't want to miss a second of this historic haul. The cold hits like a wall as Shawn Pomrenke's vessel slices through the frozen expanse of the Bering Sea. The horizon is a jagged line of ice and cloud, deceptive in its stillness, hiding treacherous waters and the promise of unimaginable fortune beneath. Shawn isn't here for the easy finds. The rumors of high-yield gold deposits lured him into a place no one else dared to explore. Satellite imagery had teased strange formations beneath the waves, ancient riverbeds now buried under centuries of silt, sediment, and ice, patterns only visible to the trained eye. Every creak of the ship, every groan of the dredging machinery feels amplified in the sub-zero silence. Crew members huddle against the chill, gloves frozen stiff, breath misting, their eyes scanning both instruments and horizon, knowing that one wrong move could mean frostbite, mechanical disaster, or worse. Shawn walks the deck like a conductor orchestrating chaos, a calm center amid the storm, but everyone knows his reputation precedes him. Audacious, fearless, sometimes reckless. The skeptics had already whispered that this strike was impossible, that no one could wrest gold from these Arctic waters. But Shawn doesn't listen to whispers. He listens to sonar, satellite scans, and the subtle hum of machinery. The modified dredges, the hydraulic rigs, the high-powered sonar scanners, they're all humming in preparation for what could be the biggest find of a lifetime. As the vessel presses further north, ice flows shift unpredictably, slamming against the hull, threatening to strand equipment and personnel alike. The Bering Sea is a living, breathing obstacle course, reshaping itself by the hour. Shawn personally oversees the calibration of sonar equipment, kneeling in the freezing spray, refusing to trust automation alone. Every minor tremor in the seabed is scrutinized, each pulse and echo analyzed for hints of mineral deposits hidden below. Crew morale swings like a pendulum. Excitement at the potential discovery, despair at the brutal conditions, and fear when storms sweep in without warning, forcing navigation adjustments on the fly. Then came the moment every miner dreads, a mechanical failure in the lead extraction vessel, the rig groaning as if it might tear itself apart. Hearts race, hands fly across control panels, improvisation becomes survival. Shawn directs, commands, and fixes, proving once again why he's the man anyone would follow into impossible conditions. Every second lost to ice, to cold, to malfunction, is a second someone else could claim the prize. But for now, Shawn holds his ground, a master of both men and machines. Then the first glimmer appears. On the sonar screen, anomalous clusters pulse beneath layers of sediment, tiny golden signals flashing like beacons in the icy darkness. Shawn orders small, strategic dredge tests. The crew moves methodically, adrenaline tempered by caution, lifting samples from the seabed to reveal flecks of gold shimmering in the cold water. It's enough to silence the doubters for now, to make skeptics glance nervously at the northern horizon. Crew excitement builds, a mix of disbelief and cautious hope, yet Shawn's voice cuts through the celebration. This is just a taste. The main vein is still out there. The reality of Arctic mining presses in. Success is measured not in fragments, but in veins, in mountains of pure, extractable gold. The pressure intensifies as rumors of prior failed expeditions surface, whispered stories of frozen rigs abandoned, gold left to the ice, and men turned back by nature's relentless grip. Every eye on the deck, every hand on a lever, feels the weight of history, of expectation, and of the potential that this strike could rewrite Arctic mining forever. The cold doesn't relent. The ice doesn't yield. But for the first time, tangible proof that fortune favors the bold emerges from beneath the seabed, flickering gold through silt and sediment, enough to make the impossible feel real. The hunt, the obstacles, and the first glimmer of success merge into a pulse, steady, relentless, driving every crew member forward, eyes locked on the horizon and hearts racing for what's coming next. Shawn's crew works with precise intensity, balancing on the knife edge between triumph and disaster, every dredge test bringing them closer to confirming the magnitude of what lies below. Each scoop, each shimmer of gold fragments becomes more than a discovery. It's proof of vision, proof that the risks were justified. The air is thick with frost and anticipation, the kind that makes fingers numb and hearts pound in unison. The Bering Sea doesn't give up its secrets easily. Every crew member knows this, but the sight of gold glinting beneath the icy waters transforms fear into determination. Shawn remains calm, calculating the next move, mapping potential veins, ensuring the extraction method maximizes yield while minimizing exposure to nature's wrath. The balance between caution and boldness is delicate. One misstep could erase weeks of work, but every success, every golden fragment brought to the surface amplifies the stakes, fueling both obsession and ambition. As the vessel pressed further into the frozen Bering Sea, the crew could feel history brushing against them. Sonar pings and sediment readings hinted at something massive, yet the main vein remained hidden, a tantalizing promise beneath layers of silt and ice. Every dredge test, every shift, sharpened anticipation, the rhythm of extraction, and the constant battle against freezing temperatures and shifting ice created a relentless tempo that propelled the crew forward. Then, after hours of precision drilling and tense calculations, the breakthrough arrived. Deep-sea drills tore through the sediment, and the readings were undeniable. A massive gold vein lay beneath the Bering Sea, larger than anything they had imagined. Shawn maneuvered the vessel with a mix of instinct and experience, threading through treacherous currents to position dredges perfectly over the richest pockets. Crew adrenaline spiked, frostbite and fatigue fading into focus, as Shawn reminded them that this was only the beginning. The real, record-breaking extraction was just getting started. Reinforced dredging platforms rise from the decks, engineered to withstand Arctic storms, sub-zero winds, and the immense pressures lurking beneath the waves. Shawn supervises every calibration personally, leaning over freezing metal and hydraulic systems, his hands coated in frost, yet precise as a surgeon. One miscalculation could collapse the entire operation, burying machinery and precious gold beneath tons of frozen silt. Early samples are pulled carefully, revealing gold of extraordinary purity. Speculation runs wild. This may not just be a natural deposit, but a historical underwater placer, remnants of centuries-old glacial movements, or even long-lost trade ship cargo concentrated perfectly in a hidden trench of the Bering Sea. The scale of the operation explodes. Supply lines stretch across icy waters, icebreakers ferry machinery, multi-vessel coordination becomes a precise, almost military operation. Every crew member has a role, every motion rehearsed and repeated, the rhythm of extraction growing more relentless with each passing hour. Shawn's hands-on leadership becomes the linchpin of the entire mission. Inspiration and fear mingle as he oversees the dangerous ballet of men, machines, and ice. Meanwhile, the world begins to notice. Word leaks to rival mining companies, and tension electrifies the sea like static before a storm. Competitors hover in the shadows, tracking coordinates and attempting to anticipate Shawn's next move. Crew members rotate in grueling 24-hour shifts, eyes scanning ice and sonar, hands never leaving critical controls, knowing that a single lapse could mean losing access to one of the richest gold veins ever discovered. Shawn introduces countermeasures. Dredges are relocated under the cover of night. Sonar signals masked. Extraction zones rotated like pieces on a chessboard. The Bering Sea becomes a theater of stealth, strategy, and survival. Media coverage amplifies every leak, every rumor, every glimpse of gold fragments pulled from icy waters, fueling speculation online that this could be a haul larger than any recorded in Arctic mining history. Yet amidst the frenzy, Shawn remains unflinchingly focused, balancing ambition with caution. Every dredge, every drill, every extracted nugget is measured, calculated, and logged. The haul must be maximized without surrendering control to nature or rivals. Tides and currents shift unpredictably, forcing immediate tactical adjustments. The largest dredges sway against icy surges. Men brace as hydraulics groan under the strain of repeated lifts, and Shawn issues commands that are precise and immediate. Small victories accumulate. Each successful extraction reinforces confidence, but the stakes escalate. Even minor equipment failure could erase weeks of work or render entire sections inaccessible. Crew fatigue claws at the edges of efficiency, yet adrenaline, anticipation, and the intoxicating sight of high-purity gold keep them operating at peak precision. Communication is constant. Scanners relay sediment density, sonar picks up vein contours, and Shawn directs adjustments in real time. Every nugget brought to the surface is a testament to both skill and audacity, each glittering fragment proof that extreme risk can yield extreme reward. Night falls, but the operation doesn't pause. Arctic darkness blankets the sea, and under the aurora's faint glow, dredges shift silently into position. Shawn's strategy of nocturnal relocation and zone rotation minimizes detection from competitors while ensuring optimal extraction paths. Crew members navigate icy decks in near-total darkness, balancing machinery and their own safety, following every instruction with laser focus. The tension is electric, a mix of danger, discovery, and defiance against an environment that is as hostile as it is bountiful. Small flashes of gold caught in dredge nets illuminate the dark waters, an almost mystical reward for those daring enough to challenge the frozen sea. Shawn's decisions dictate the rhythm: when to push forward, when to pull back, when to risk, and when to preserve. Every hour becomes a race against nature, against rivals, against the limits of endurance. The Bering Sea tests them with ice-shattered waves, hidden shoals, and the omnipresent risk of structural failure, yet each obstacle met strengthens the team's resolve. Early extractions continue to confirm the quality of gold. Purity levels ignite further speculation about historical deposits, and Shawn's meticulous documentation ensures that every nugget's provenance is accounted for. This is not luck. It is audacity, preparation, and precise execution colliding with opportunity in the harshest conditions imaginable. Media channels scramble for updates. Online forums buzz with speculation. And yet Shawn and his crew remain locked in their own rhythm. Measure, extract, relocate, repeat. The operation is becoming legendary in real time. A combination of human endurance, mechanical ingenuity, and strategic mastery unfolding in one of the planet's most unforgiving environments. The breakthrough vein, reinforced platforms, and vigilant countermeasures converged to create an unstoppable momentum. Crew morale surged, tempered by the knowledge that a single misstep could erase weeks of progress. Shawn walked the deck, surveying men and machines like a conductor orchestrating Arctic chaos. Sonar pings echoed through freezing fog as dredges lifted shimmering fragments, and the reality of the discovery began to sink in. The gold was massive, unprecedented in the region, and still only partially revealed. Every decision, from when to dredge to how to rotate zones, balanced instinct and experience honed over years of extreme ventures. Ice, storm, and shifting currents threatened constantly, yet the combined ingenuity of man and machine pressed extraction forward. Each fragment brought to the surface a testament to daring, precision, and perseverance. Then the confirmation arrived. The first reports hit like a thunderclap across the Arctic mining world. An $85 million haul, enough to etch Shawn Pomrenke's name into history. Crew cheers tore through the bitter wind and groan of dredges, but Shawn's calm voice cut through the celebration. This isn't the end. The main vein is still out there. Every hand tightened on icy metal. Eyes scanned sonar, and the team knew the richest sections remained buried beneath tons of sediment. Momentum carried them onward, but attention came with it. Government agencies, environmental monitors, and competitors began circling, scrutinizing every move. Shawn absorbed it all with the calm of a man accustomed to extreme stakes, his leadership turning adrenaline and tension into focused, relentless extraction that would soon redefine Arctic mining forever. Then nature asserts herself in full force. A violent Arctic storm rolls in without warning. A maelstrom of wind, ice, and freezing spray. Dredges strain against the onslaught. Moorings scream under pressure, and for a moment it seems as if weeks of labor could vanish beneath the icy waves. Shawn moves like a conductor in chaos, rallying the crew to erect improvised extraction shields and reinforce anchoring systems against the storm's fury. Tensions spike as hours of gold-rich sediment hang in the balance, each second a gamble. Crew morale sways between fear and awe, eyes wide, muscles straining against the cold and the weight of responsibility. Yet Shawn's presence becomes the anchor they cling to. Methodical, decisive, and unwavering. Even as the storm rages, sonar confirms that untouched sections of the vein remain intact, hidden treasures waiting beneath layers of ice and sediment. The message is clear. Fortune is still within reach, but it will not be given lightly. As the storm subsides, the operation pivots immediately back into full force. Drilling reveals massive clusters of gold, previously undetectable. Formations so rich and concentrated, they eclipse anything the crew has ever seen. Every extraction confirms that the haul may be the largest in Pomrenke's career, a prize built from vision, endurance, and audacity. Historians and geologists speculate about the origins of this bounty: sunken 19th-century trade vessels, glacial shifts that concentrated minerals in hidden pockets, or ancient underwater riverbeds now trapped beneath silt and ice. Each nugget carries a story as compelling as its value. The crew works in relentless shifts, moving equipment with precision, lifting, sorting, and storing every ounce before winter ice can seal the site from further access. Every decision is deliberate, extraction speed balanced against equipment safety, each maneuver recorded meticulously. Shawn documents each discovery, noting size, purity, and location, anticipating media attention, historical recognition, and future scientific study. The magnitude of the operation now stretches beyond mere extraction. Early estimates reach $120 million, figures that demand strategic planning for transport, storage, and security. The vessel's decks are a choreography of men and machinery, dredges swinging, conveyors moving slurry, and cranes lifting crates, all synchronized under Shawn's watchful eye. Icebreakers patrol surrounding waters, securing access routes, while multi-vessel support ensures continuous supply chains for fuel, machinery, and provisions. Crew rotations are optimized to maintain peak performance, yet exhaustion is ever present. Temperatures remain punishing, and the Arctic environment tests both body and resolve. Every step, every lift, every calculation is weighted with history. The chance to claim not just gold, but legacy. The psychological strain is mirrored in the physical. Hands numb from cold, eyes strained from sonar screens, muscles aching from constant exertion. Yet the thrill of discovery drives the crew onward. Each dredge recovery is a heartbeat, each golden fragment a pulse of triumph. Communication is continuous. Signals from sonar, GPS, and drilling arrays are relayed instantly, interpreted, and acted upon with split-second precision. Mistakes cannot be afforded. The scale of the vein reveals itself gradually, teasing with gold, tempting with magnitude, challenging with the unyielding ice and storm-swept currents. Shawn's leadership transforms tension into momentum. His decisiveness converts potential disaster into managed risk. Even as media outlets begin broadcasting glimpses of the operation, competitors watch hungrily, mapping coordinates and hoping for mistakes. Shawn anticipates every angle, every potential move, rotating dredges under cover of darkness, masking sonar signatures, and relocating equipment to preserve the advantage. The Arctic becomes both battlefield and stage, where each measured move ensures the haul remains entirely under their control. Crew members, inspired yet terrified, adapt to this rhythm. They become extensions of the machinery and strategy, hands and eyes aligned with Shawn's vision. Every dredge lift, every slurry transfer, every carefully recorded measurement consolidates not just gold, but authority, control over both environment and fortune. As the hours stretched into days, the vein's richness became undeniable. Sonar maps revealed the contours of immense clusters, each scoop of sediment producing fragments larger and purer than the last. The crew moved with mechanical precision, coordinating lifts, sorting, and temporary storage, their movements a tense dance of necessity and instinct. Shawn monitored constantly, not just the extraction, but the health of his people, the integrity of equipment, and the looming presence of nature itself. Early hauls had already confirmed $85 million, yet the richest sections still lay hidden beneath layers of silt and ice, and with them came even greater challenges. Deep deposits loomed, taunting the crew with their hidden magnitude, and extracting them pushed both men and machines to their absolute limits. Extended dives became daily necessities, dredges groaning under reinforced plating and frozen sediment, and the risk of catastrophic equipment failure escalated with every lift. Crew fatigue gnawed at muscles and nerves. Eyes glazed from endless sonar scans, fingers numb, backs aching under relentless exertion. Shawn rotated teams strategically, maintaining operational focus while recalibrating dredges to navigate sudden sediment shifts and massive underwater slides that threatened the main vein. Contingency plans were executed with precision. Ice fractures monitored, wildlife movements accounted for, and emergency anchoring systems deployed. At the center of it all, Shawn personally guided the most dangerous extractions, issuing commands, adjusting machinery, and transforming a volatile, frozen expanse into a controlled, high-stakes operation. Every move is calculated, yet the sheer scale of the vein reveals new challenges. Sediment density varies unpredictably, and every scoop of the dredge must be adjusted to avoid equipment strain or collapse. Crew members communicate constantly, adjusting lifts and extraction angles, their coordination as precise as a surgical team in the Arctic darkness. Shawn watches over every operation, hands-on and meticulous, knowing that a single misstep could undo weeks of progress. Hours stretch into days, yet the crew maintains an almost superhuman focus, spurred by adrenaline and the tantalizing glimmer of gold fragments visible through slurry and ice. The tension is omnipresent, an invisible pressure that heightens awareness, sharpens reflexes, and turns labor into performance under extreme conditions. Then, after weeks of relentless extraction, the confirmation comes. The final haul totals $150 million, a staggering figure that shatters every previous record in Arctic gold mining. The crew erupts, a mixture of disbelief, joy, and exhaustion. Voices carried across the frozen decks as the dredges continue to hum, still recovering fragments of a deposit that now defines history. Media broadcasts flood the world with images of glistening gold and the exhausted, triumphant faces of men and women who risked everything for this haul. Shawn Pomrenke becomes an international icon, his name synonymous with audacity, vision, and unmatched Arctic mining skill. Analysts, competitors, and skeptics are forced to acknowledge the scale of the operation. The sheer quantity of high-purity gold recovered is unprecedented in Arctic waters, rewriting expectations for what is possible in extreme mining conditions. Every piece of machinery, every carefully plotted extraction plan, and every risk taken under Shawn's guidance is now validated, proving that meticulous preparation and daring execution can yield extraordinary results. The operation's success extends beyond raw numbers. Crew cohesion and trust reach new heights, forged in the crucible of shared danger and achievement. Stories of endurance, improvisation under duress, and teamwork become legendary among Arctic mining circles, the narrative of survival and triumph woven into the fabric of the expedition. Even as celebrations continue, Shawn ensures that environmental monitoring remains a priority, documenting every extraction site, analyzing the impact on the surrounding ecosystem, and implementing measures to preserve the fragile Arctic waters for future study and safe operations. The haul, while monumental, is not just about profit. It is a statement of responsibility and foresight, a blueprint for balancing ambition with stewardship. Industry analysts immediately recognize the haul's transformative impact on the gold market, predicting months, if not years, of attention as the Bering Sea operation dominates headlines. Competitors reevaluate strategies, studying Shawn's approach to risk management, engineering solutions, and tactical extraction under extreme conditions. The techniques pioneered during this expedition, reinforced dredging platforms, extended dive extraction, nocturnal relocation of equipment, and strategic rotation of extraction zones, become case studies for Arctic mining operations worldwide. Shawn's leadership style, blending hands-on oversight with trust in his crew's skill and relentless focus on precision, becomes a benchmark for future expeditions. Even with the historic haul secured, Shawn's vision looks beyond a single strike. Discussions hint at unexplored veins further north, sections of the Bering Sea that may hold deposits of equal or greater magnitude. The crew, bonded through weeks of extreme survival and shared victory, remains committed, inspired by the knowledge that this haul is both a record and a foundation for even greater discoveries. Every dredge, every sonar reading, every shift worked under punishing conditions has prepared them for the next challenge. The Arctic, while unforgiving, is now a stage for their ambition, and Shawn's plans for future exploration signal that this legendary strike may only be the beginning. The final recovery consolidates not just wealth, but legacy. Every nugget, every ounce of high-purity gold is documented and secured, the operation executed with the kind of precision that will be referenced for decades. Media coverage continues, not merely focusing on the monetary value, but on the audacity of vision, the extremity of conditions, and the leadership required to succeed where few dared to try. Competitors and skeptics watch in awe and envy, recognizing that this operation has set a new standard for what is possible in the Bering Sea and beyond. The scale of extraction, combined with unprecedented purity, transforms a single expedition into a historical benchmark. As the crews prepare to demobilize dredges and secure the final shipments, the Arctic seems almost to exhale, the frozen waters reflecting the monumental achievement beneath. Shawn's meticulous oversight ensured that no ounce was lost, no risk unchecked, and no opportunity ignored. The lessons learned, engineering solutions, strategic extraction planning, environmental safeguards, will inform every future venture into extreme mining territories. The combination of human endurance, leadership, and technological innovation has proven that even the most inhospitable environments can yield extraordinary rewards when audacity meets preparation. The $150 million haul is more than a record. It is a statement. Arctic mining, once considered marginal and fraught with risk, is now a theater of possibility, reshaped by Shawn Pomrenke's daring and precision. Crew bonds, forged in ice, storm, and relentless labor, remain unbreakable, a testament to what extreme collaboration under pressure can achieve. Historians and industry observers will reference this expedition as a benchmark for innovation, perseverance, and leadership. Environmental safeguards, meticulous documentation, and strategic planning ensure that the site will be preserved, studied, and respected long after the gold is secured. Shawn, while celebrating the monumental haul, already hints at new exploration sites, signaling that the Bering Sea adventure is far from over and that even greater discoveries may lie just beyond the frozen horizon. The legacy of this operation is secure, a perfect blend of audacious risk-taking, meticulous planning, and human endurance has redefined Arctic mining. Every nugget recovered, every strategy implemented, and every danger overcome contributes to a narrative that will inspire miners, explorers, and adventurers for years to come. The frozen expanse of the Bering Sea has yielded its treasures, and through the vision and leadership of Shawn Pomrenke, the world has witnessed what extreme ambition, skill, and determination can accomplish when tested against the harshest environment on Earth.